Hi and welcome to the Adelaide Horror Podcast. It's your host Zombie Joe, and today for Zombie Bite episode I've got here Tallora from Mobile Makeovers, and we're going to do a step-by-step Halloween makeup session. So today I've got my niece Jonah coming to join us, and she's going to have a zombie bite put on her hand for the theme of the episode. So yeah, cool. So Tallora, when did you first get into special effects makeup?
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Well, I was about 10 years old when my mum gave me a video of Michael Jackson's The Making of Thriller, and I watched that video so many times as a 10-year-old, just watching Rick Baker do his amazing work. Yeah. And that's when I'm like, I want to do that, but I didn't really know it was a job.
Yeah.
So in my final year of studying costume design, I saw this course near me.
Yeah.
And so I did the course on, I really wanted special effects and the gore. That's what got me into it.
Yeah,
but I learned everything in makeup, and so I've sort of done all sorts of different stuff, including the special effects, and I also do weddings as well. And it's great because I get to be really creative, and I get to do so many different variations of things,
awesome.
And it's so much fun, and doing zombie work and all that awesome stuff.
I was a zombie, and she did a great job. I managed to scare a cop, so that's how good that's how good that the makeup is.
A compliment is when people go, "Oh, that's disgusting." I'm like, yes,
that's done it. I've done my job. Awesome. So, like I said, I've got my niece Jonah. She's going to be the zombie victim in this scenario, and Tallora will just do a run through of how to do a zombie bite step by step for novices, and hope you enjoy it. Cool. We'll bring in Jonah now. So we're about to start. So here's the layout of some of the products that Tallora uses. Here's Jonah pre-bite.
So first what I'm going to do is just wipe down her hand just to make sure it's nice and clean. Less oils, it just helps the product to stick. So that's nice and easy. Then I'm going to use just a red pencil to basically create the bite. So if you're not sure what a bite will look like, you can just Google images of a mouse, teeth marks. The beautiful thing about effects makeup is you really don't want it to be perfect. Like, it doesn't have to be. It can be that little bit messy, because if you can imagine, a bite is not going to be perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, well, I'm speaking from experience. I've actually been bitten by someone at work, and that looks pretty real.
So this is just basically my little template.
Yep. Yeah, look at that.
Of what I'm going to do. Yep. Just going to grab a brush, and I've got some white cream, which is the Ben Nye Clown White, actually. I don't want too much on my brush though, so I just want to create a bit of highlight. Blend that through, and I can always add more if I need to, so sometimes understated can be better. You can also use a white pencil if that works better for you. But the skin does tend to, when it's damaged, it tends to swell up a little bit, and the edges of a wound will sort of start to die and lose their colour a little bit. I'm going to use a black pencil just to create a little bit of depth within these teeth marks. Still want the red to show through though, because obviously red being the colour of blood. Later on I will fill that with a bit of blood as well, because that's just fun.
It sure is.
Now what I've decided to do, because there are so many different ways that we could do this. We
Yep.
could just use pencils and colours and creams and a bit of blood.
Yep.
Or you could use tissue, you could use cotton balls and things like that to create texture and all that kind of thing. So there are so many ways of doing it, but I thought, you know what, I'll do it with a bit of putty and skin wax. So this is the Ben Nye Nose and Scar Wax.
Yep.
A great little product. I'm going to use a spatula to apply it though, but I just want to warm it up. Summer has not quite come in yet, so it's not too warm to keep this warm. So I just want to blend this through, just to create some height. And this is probably the most complicated part of the whole thing, to be honest. But it's not that difficult. Just going to grab a bit more product.
So it's really allowing time, isn't it, when you do something like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you use latex, you have to allow time to, you know, let the latex dry.
Yep.
Cheat a little bit and put this on with my fingers just to warm it up, because it's just easier when it's a bit warmer. And then I'll blend it. You can also use spirit gum, which is a skin adhesive, if you want more stability, if they have to leave it on for a fair amount of time. So I'm just...
Whereabouts do you get them from, the spirit?
Oh, you can get this online.
Yep.
You can get this at makeup stores. There's a makeup shop on Stepney, in Stepney on Payneham Road, that you can get all the Ben Nye products from. And yeah, online there's heaps of places that sell Ben Nye. Krylon's another fantastic brand. Both cruelty free, by the way, as well. I'm a 100% cruelty free artist, so
fantastic.
I don't like using products that test on animals at all. So
Yep.
So I'm just making sure this is going to stay on her skin. A bit too much right there. So you can spread that. The beautiful thing about this, yeah, it doesn't. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Don't worry if it's not, you know. Apart from you want it nice and smooth, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. It doesn't, you know. It's a bite. Bites are messy. Now with putty, if it does stick to your fingers too much, you can use a little bit of Vaseline on your fingertips, and then it just makes it a little bit easier to blend through.
Okay.
And if you lose definition in your teeth, that's not a problem, because we're going to be adding more colour to that in a minute anyway, so. I do want to keep the shape of my nose. Oh, see, look at that!
Yes, yeah, real and fake. It's spot on.
What did you do there?
It's really starting to come up.
Good metal spatula is just a great tool to keep in your effects kit. So you basically just want to sort of hide that edge, really. spots. So you probably spend more time actually getting this smooth than anything else, to be honest.
Side of the Crypt.
Yep.
They're very busy watching ABC Two.
Baby Joe.
Baby Jewel. She's
I think she's going to get right into this like Dad, I reckon.
I hope so. We'll see. But she may be totally into the Babysitters Club. I don't know. I'm prepared for both scenarios.
Right. And that's okay too.
Yeah, that's right. I'm prepared.
Yeah. But I am proof zombies are not just for boys.
That's it. Every now and then you'll get a BB-8 noise. That's
Oh, how adorable.
yeah.
That's so cute. So again, just a bit more Vaseline.
Yep. Yeah, when we participated in the zombie walk and Tallora did my makeup, and how realistic it looked, and it lasted a long time as well, and little pockets were created with fake blood filled in the middle, so they would pop and crack hours after it was put on, so it gave that kind of decomposing cracked skin
Deteriorating,
thing.
yeah.
And it worked really well. And so yeah, I was just admiring. That's first when I got into seeing what Tallora's special effects talents were. Also, my friend Jeremy was created as a zombie as well. So for one night, we terrified the streets with many other people for the Adelaide Zombie Walk, which is now has finished. But yeah, it was good 10 years.
Yes.
And good times, a lot of memories. So, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they bring that back
Mm.
one day. So I've just gently just powdered that down. I'm just going to grab a bit of foundation. I'm using the Lime Crime cream foundation there. Just to sort of softly blend the colour through, just to disguise. Probably won't really even see much of this after, but just in case.
Yep.
Just gently patting that down. It also helps to keep it a bit more blended as well.
That's good.
Beautiful. Now I'm going to intensify these lights again, these tooth marks.
So what would you recommend, like a first time person seeing this? It's going to be Halloween in a month. They want to start doing this kind of effect. What advice would you give a first time budding makeup special effects person?
So if they want to start it for Halloween and do their own, the great thing about it is you don't need a huge amount of product. You can do quite a lot of things with the same types of products. So I would probably start with, you know, you can get a nice sort of colour wheel. This is a Graftobian colour wheel. Ben and I do some great ones as well. This is actually called Trauma Fix, this one. Nice. The Ben Nye one that I recommend for zombies and things like that is actually called the Death Wheel.
Nice.
I just love its name.
It's a bit metal.
Yeah, and they're really easy to work with, cream colours. So if you're a first time user, they're super easy. And they give you enough colours that you can sort of, you know, mix and match to whatever you're sort of looking at having. A bit of blood. So today I've got the Ben Nye Stage blood, but I've also got the thick blood as well. So Krylon do some great bloods as well, and you can pretty much get bloods for everything. You can get eye blood, mouse blood, powder blood, liquid blood, gel blood.
Chocolate chip.
Like, It's funny you say that. This is a zesty mint flavour.
Zesty mint. I do like that.
The last time I went to the zombie walk, I brought my dogs. And we went as Star Wars. So I was Leia. My husband was Han. I had my little Silky. She was an Ewok. And my Jack Russell was Yoda.
I think that was the one where I went as a prisoner. I think
maybe. And I splattered the dogs with the blood, and the great thing about this particular one, it's non-toxic. It's, you know, it is edible. I mean, I wouldn't recommend putting it on ice cream or anything, but it is.
Don't do that at home.
So
disclaimer. Don't be putting fake blood on your ice cream, kids.
If you do get it in your mouth, it's not a big deal.
Just spit it out. You look tougher.
I ended up accidentally dropping it on my dog as she walked under me as I was splattering it on myself. I was going to put it on her anyway, but
she went from cute to Cujo.
Pretty much. pretty much. Okay, so now that I've just sort of done a bit of colouring there, I want to put some sort of bruising and some sort of angry skin. Make the skin, you know. It's just been attacked. It's not happy. So I've just got a latex sponge. I want to get some sort of, I'm using a bit of a deep maroon. I will add a bit of the yellow to give it that kind of almost sort of bruisey or infection kind of colour. So just sort of around, I'm trying to also squeeze the sponge so I don't get the corners. You can also get round sponges or cut the corners off if you're not happy with it. Get the shape that you want.
It's really about being individual what you're trying to do at the time. Is that
pretty much.
So everyone's kind of different. Every makeup thing's going to be different.
Oh, and there's honestly so many different ways that you can do it. Anything creative, there's always multiple ways of doing things. I'm going to get into here because this is going to be angry as well. I'm going to fill that in a bit as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So a bit of angry.
It's amazing to see this, and then you see things like, you know, zombie productions like Walking Dead, the South Korean zombie movies and stuff you see on Netflix now, and just so many people involved as extras as zombies, and then you think, or I always think, you know, what is the team of makeup special effects artists behind that. It'd be like a whole army of people, pretty much.
Oh, big time.
It'd be a big production line, kind of.
The more extras, the more dailies, and the more. So dailies are makeup artists that they bring in just for big days of filming and lots of extras and things like that.
Yep.
Add a bit of blue, bluey purple, because bruises, bruises are not perfect in colour or position.
Yep.
So I really want it messy. So take your time with this bit if you're going to do it for Halloween or whatnot. And you kind of want it, you don't want too much product either, because if you put too much product, it looks like it's on top of the skin. And, this really would be something that would be coming out from within.
Less is best, kind of.
Yeah. And don't put it in the perfect formation. You want it sort of a bit blotchy, because, naturally your skin will be a bit blotchy. And I mean, who's had a perfectly shaped bruise before? I did have a tartan bruise once. That was interesting.
Yeah, okay.
A natural one.
Yeah.
The doctor caused it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Good job.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah.
Did you go back and ask him for payment? Like, can I just put this on your card now? Thank you for doing that.
Now, what I also want to do is I want to create some little veins. So I'm going to use a mixture of some blue and purple, but also some red, and I want it really kind of faint, because we've got this bite coming out, and infection and all sorts, and really fine. Not messy at all, not neat at all. Don't make it too symmetrical, because she's now infected. You're about to turn.
Yeah, this is when they have that age-old dialogue question, that the dialogue that drives me absolutely nuts in the middle of a zombie film. Oh, but it's different. He's okay, he's going to be okay, we're going to help him. And like every other 100 zombies that we've just handled have gone through the same thing. Yeah. It's not going to be any different. No, it's still Jonah.
Yeah.
We can save her. Like, no, you can't. And then there's that one guy that goes,
I want
to drop her right now. Like, she's going to turn on everyone.
She's going to
turn. No, it's different. And then for some bizarre reason, they hug the person and then they get bitten in the neck. And then they're surprised about that. I'm like, oh my god, that's got to go.
I forget one thing.
People need to cut that out of the film. Like, it just drives me nuts. I just find it every zombie movie, they just kind of do that one denial argument about someone being bitten and they don't want to change. And
well, a loved one's just been bitten. Yeah. No, they can't die. No.
Yeah, you're not going to instinctively go, yeah, that's it, it's been great, see you later.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, fair enough.
Do we kill you now or do we?
Yeah, there's a bit of...
So I've just got a little bit of the blue, but I've mixed a little bit of maroon in there as well, because I just want to add a little bit more dimension to the veins. So a very, very fine brush, because I'm not using a pencil now. I just want to... It just creates a little bit extra dimension.
Yeah, it certainly does. This is the...
So we've got some good sort of veinage happening. I don't know if that's worked, but it is now.
It is now.
So, press a little bit more. Okay. going to add a bit of red into my... I like to use blood last. So I know a lot of people, they put their blood in and then keep going with their sort of the work. And that's fine if that works, that's awesome. But I like to do it at the end because if I put blood in too early and then I go, oh, actually I need a bit more definition here or there, sometimes I can mess the blood around and then it smudges the blood. And so I do prefer to put blood right at the end, and that's when it really comes alive.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I do also want to actually stipple sponge. So we're going to get some veins, we'll add to the vein, or capillaries, I guess. So. So mostly with red and maroon. Create some little capillaries there. And this is the thick blood. So you can see, very thick, it ain't moving.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a gel consistency. So on each sort of tooth.
Yeah, well, it really adds that
Once you start
puncture, like, gives that real puncture look, like it,
thick blood's so good to work with.
Be ending up heading into part 2 now, so we'll see you in the next episode, part 2.
Okay, go.
This section here, we're just more defining the
just increasing and just defining what's there. Just adding to it. In the middle, you can do so many different things with the middle. It's either a bite or it's you know, they've ripped skin off, and if they've ripped skin off, you're probably only going to have maybe the top bit, and then the rest is just sort of ripped off. And so we can keep it like that and then just add some blood to it, which will look awesome. I might actually put a bit of extra sort of blood through the center. I have got some blood here. The other thing that you can do is, if say you've got a zombie bite that they've actually ripped some skin off, you can put things like tissues in here with a bit of latex, or oats. You know, like muesli kind of oats. You can pop a little bit of that, glue it in with latex, and that sort of creates this sort of ripped inner muscle goo and blood and all sorts, because, you know, if I have ripped this bit off, you won't see this bottom bit here, so we can do that as well. But, you know, whatever works, however you want to do it. So I'm just going to start to really mess this up now. Blood really takes it from... Again, don't make it neat. The great thing about this thick blood as well, we can actually, you know, start to put this through here. This is actually starting to dry up a bit, but it's still very workable. I want it messy, I want it lifted, I want that sort of gore. I'll show you with oats as well. Here's some oats that I prepared earlier. You know, putting the blood there.
No, that's just your breakfast, but yeah, it's okay.
Pardon?
That's just your breakfast. That you didn't have
just brought some breakfast with me.
Yeah, just some breakfast left over. I'll just chuck this in. Yeah.
Now I'm just going to stick it there with a bit of blood.
Who would have thought oats?
There's so many amazing things you can.
It's amazing, isn't it? Who came up with... And the happy accident, that was when oats got introduced to a mocha effect.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what happened there. What was the backstory?
I've heard people using cheese and, you know, all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Look, as long as it's not, you know, dangerous for the skin, we're good. Yeah. So...
Cheese would stink. That would almost make it smell like gangrene. Yeah. Like, that would make a pretty realistic smelling cut.
Yeah. It would, I probably wouldn't use it unless, you know, I really knew that it wasn't going to be hot or something like that.
I'd be angry about it because I'd want to eat the cheese. Like, who's been wasting the cheese? Like, what are you doing?
So now I'm just at it, like, I mean, you don't have to do these little bits. I'm just sort of giving you that bit of extra and just making it really
have a look at the context now. With the oats, you can really see what it does. Like,
the great thing with the oats is because you still see the different colour. Yeah. Because the oats are white, adding the blood to it, you still get that dimension of colour. Yeah. And it kind of looks like this gory kind of bit of skin that, you know, has been ripped off. The thick blood there is still quite dark, which is great. So you still have these little soft definitions of bites there as well. So you can still sort of see that it's actually a bite. Yep. Just make it really messy with blood, because if you're going to rip something off like this, you sort of, you know, it will be messy. Wow. And then sort of the veins obviously show that, right, there's an infection there. Yeah. You can also add things like Vaseline to make it, if you want some sort of infection looking pussy coloration to it as well. So there's so many things you can do. What I tend to say is, look, just figure out what type of zombie you're having as well. Because that'll dictate what your wounds will be. Because, you know, you've got the zombies of Thriller, where they're just dead. They've got whatever wounds or injuries they had when they died, and then they're just coming out of the ground. But then you've also got, say, is it the 28-day zombie where it's a virus? So if they bite you, you've got the virus. So you've got these different... bleeding and all that stuff. You've got these different, all sorts of different zombies out there. So you just have to think, okay, well, what type of zombie am I having? This will sort of be an indication of possible, infection of some sort of virus or illness. Whereas, say that the Thriller type of zombie, just the undead, you can do almost any wound, really, because... who knows what they died of or whatever. And then if they do bite, I assume they still eat brains at that point. So you might not need to have these veins there because they don't have a virus so much. They just dead. Just risen to the dead. I don't know if it's a spell or... Yeah, that's it. Like, there's so many different... Yeah, exactly. You've got zombies, you've got ghouls, you know, there's the kind of all those little kind of subgenres in that that's right. So, I think... pretty much the advice is to just kind of sit down, plan it how you want to do it, and then work out what zombie you want to do, and then there's so hopefully this video kind of gives you a rough idea what to do and the
stuff.
other thing as well that I haven't really mentioned is so this is like someone's just been bitten. They're not a zombie quite yet, but they're about to be. But then say you've got the zombie that bit, I might deaden up the skin, and you know, she's got this beautiful colour within and warmth within her skin, but if she's a dead zombie, she'd probably lose all of this beautiful colour. So that's where I might sort of deaden up the skin with. I'll just show you the types of colours. So this is the trauma, but you know, you've got that sort of soft grey and that sort of dull skin tone. You can mix that in with her foundation colour, dull it right down, and just take all the warmth out of it. Colour the whole area, and you want to use things like your dull maroons and browns and greys to contour and highlight, make things look more sunken in, like around the eyes, around the cheeks, and really deaden up the skin so it looks like, okay, she doesn't have blood flowing through her body because she's dead. So that's another thing that you can think of when you're trying to create your zombie or your victim.
Yep.
Obviously, this is a victim at this point.
Yep.
Not for much longer. So yeah, it's quite fun. You do so much with it, and you know, when you look at the side of her hand, you can sort of see these little raised bits. So it kind of looks like there is something missing there. I don't know if you can
absolutely.
see
It's
just
pretty
that
raised in the
end
one corner.
Yeah.
Right up the top, that looks pretty realistic. I've had a similar cut myself that was quite deep, and that's pretty much what it looked like. It was,
And that's what, you know, the putty that we've done sort of raises it up so it looks like there's an indent.
Yeah.
So
that's
pretty
amazing.
Cool. But as I said, you don't need to do it that way.
Yeah, it does.
You're looking at your hand going, because it should hurt right now.
Jonah's a bit of a hard nut. Like, she's like, what happened? Oh, just a little scratch, whatever. Like,
Nothing major.
She's tough. Like, nothing soft comes out of Doomageddon. That's, there we go.
So, lots of things you can do, lots of fun you can have. It is messy, so enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's my favourite part of it.
Yeah, if you're going to freak out because there's going to be stuff going everywhere, probably, like I said, it's that pre-planning thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe do it outside or, you know,
Definitely. And the great thing is you don't need that many products. So really I've just used, you know, I could get away with a colour wheel, a bit of powder, some wax, a couple of pencils, and some brushes.
So let's have a look at that again. So let's have a look at the makeup tray here. We've got...
So I've just got a few different colours there. So I've got the red, maroon, some brown. I've got some yellow to just create a bit of bruising. I've got the blue as well for the veins and a bit more bruising. I've got the white for just some soft highlights, just to enhance the high points of like swollen skin. I do have a bit of a colour match foundation for it, just to sort of help blend the wax. You can get this wax in different colours as well. So, you know, if you do have a darker client, a model, actor, you know, you can get a darker one. This one I think is the fair colour.
What if they're kind of like a ranger and completely pale like myself?
Yeah.
There's their
you can get a lighter one as well. But you can also colour these up, so it doesn't really matter what colour you go if you've got the right sort of cream colour to blend it if you need to. But I mean, most of it you don't even see because it gets covered with your bruising colours and your blood and all that kind of thing. I did put a very soft amount of translucent powder, so that's just a colourless translucent, just to take some shine off. And then that's a bit of Vaseline. That's pretty much it. So there's not a lot you need. So it's quite an easy kit to buy if you like, or get together. And as I said, you can use oats or tissue, or you can use cotton ball in there and just sort of break it up, but mix it in with some latex, or mix it in with blood, and it just looks like skin.
That's it. It certainly does.
Like fatty tissue and things like that.
So this is the finished product, everybody. The zombie bite. Have a look at that. That is well done. That is wow. And pretty much what, half an hour to half an hour to do that. You know,
look, you can even do it. Yeah, depending on how big you want to do it. You can, anywhere from 10 to
fantastic.
20 minutes.
Well done. Well done.
Do it on the neck, on the face, on the leg, wherever you've been bitten.
Yep, fantastic.
It was like that. Oh,
cool. All right. So we'll just pan. So there we have it. Cool. So there we have it. So thank you very much for Tallora for coming down.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, the step-by-step how to do a zombie bite. Thanks, Jonah, for getting bitten on camera. And so tell everyone at home a bit about your business.
So I run Mobile Makeovers Australia. We do a lot of weddings and formals and nice pretty things as well, but we are available for Halloween this year, which is great. We do still have some openings, which is awesome. Joe is one of our bookings, so you can't have that time slot, but yeah, if you want to get zombied up or dead looking or burnt or whatever's gory, come on over and we can make you look quite scary or weird or gory or whatever. And yeah, so we can be found on Instagram at Mobile Makeovers Ost. Our website is makeoversost.com.au. We can also be found on Pinterest and YouTube, yeah, all of our details are on our website as well.
Cool. No worries. Thanks everyone, and hope you enjoyed the episode, and stay tuned for the next episode. So until then, stay scary, and I'll see you in the crypt.